I've been picking up on a lot of messages for a very specific twin flame. Well, I should say two twin flames, but one of them will be listening to this and the other will be most likely connected to them in some way. A twin flame pair, I will say. And the word that came through that I kept hearing as a download was monad and monadic. And I had come across this word before in the twin flame community, but I had never felt guided to look into it or to research it, but it just kept coming up so strongly. And so I started channeling some downloads and some information about this, and I posted some of those on my Instagram in a text post. So if you are wanting to get the full post and kind of the more succinct breakdown of information on monadic twin flames, then you can check out my most recent Instagram post. And my Instagram is at Magnetize Yourself, just like my channel name, but with no spaces. But it opened up a lot of conversation in the comments section under that post. And I really enjoyed that it was kind of creating this dialogue around this very unique twin flame pathway. Now, not all twin flames are monadic. In fact, I would say that this particular twin flame pathway is very rare. And when it comes to different twin flame paths, no one pathway is superior to another path. They all serve a reinforcing purpose. So there is a reason from a higher perspective that some twin flames choose to anchor in the unconditional love frequency on planet Earth through a very traditional, conventional looking physical union where they are most likely living together, where they are supporting each other on a day-to-day basis, where their bond looks very traditionally romantic, but carries this very unique, and we should say like non-conventional, because it's not conventional to hold the frequency of unconditional love. It's beautifully unconventional. So in that sense, I mean, all twin flame pathways are unconventional because they carry a frequency of unconditional love. And that in itself is very groundbreaking for the collective. And it's why twin flames are here. It's why so many souls have chosen to incarnate either simultaneously with their twin flame, or in some cases, rarer cases, they've chosen to incarnate and to have a conscious understanding that they are a twin flame, even if their twin has already passed on, or if they are connecting with them from the spiritual realm, because that happens as well. But essentially, a monadic twin flame carries a different purpose. So whereas I would call them merging twin flames that choose to come together and to physically reunite in a very traditional, conventional looking way, in order to stabilize this unconditional love frequency through that physical, very traditional looking union. That is a powerful role on the planet that many twins take on. But in contrast to that, monadic twin flames have a very different kind of path. And monadic twin flames will often go through a lot of inner turmoil when it comes to accepting and embracing that their path looks so different, because again, being a twin flame alone is by definition a very unique, rare pathway, and it's very convoluted at times. It's something that society often misconstrues or misunderstands. But being a monadic twin flame is even more complex, because not only are you not fitting into this societal mold of what love and relationship should look like, but you aren't even really fitting into a mold of what a twin flame, quote unquote, should look like, according to potentially a lot of the twin flame community. And I would say that the reason many people misunderstand monadic twin flames is completely understandable. The reason is because I would say maybe more than half of twin flames are merging. I mean, it's hard to put an exact number on it, but I would say many twin flames are merging twin flames where they feel this deep, intense desire to physically reunite and have a conventional looking, standard, traditional relationship, but while carrying that twin flame frequency. It's natural that if you are on a twin flame path and you feel that way towards your divine counterpart because it speaks to your pathway, that it would be difficult to understand how someone can be a twin flame and can feel this intense connectedness to their twin, this like unbreakable, beautiful, transformative, spiritually awakening kind of bond, and can go through all of the signs and the synchronicities and the magic of that and have a knowingness that this energy is always going to be connected to them, and yet to not necessarily have the desire to physically be in a traditional romantic union state with that person, even after they have internally come into wholeness and union within themselves. So I know that there will be many people who will come across this video who are what I would consider to be merging twin flames. And I want to say that I completely respect and honor that pathway, as well as respecting and honoring the monadic twin flame pathway as well. Again, I feel that neither pathway is superior. They are both essential and important. But the reason I want to create this video is because I am setting the intention for this video to find someone who has been on this very complex, unconventional twin flame pathway that hasn't fully made sense. And because it's not been able to fit into any kind of mold or box, even these twin flame molds and patterns, it's most likely brought up a lot of inner turmoil for you. And so I want you to feel understood and seen and supported. Because if you are a monadic twin flame, this has most likely been your experience, and I'm going to describe it here. Most likely, if you are a monadic twin flame, you have had this very strange experience of knowing with absolute certainty that you are a twin flame, probably for quite some time as of when you are finding this video. And you've experienced all of the signs, all of the synchronicities, everything under the sun that you would imagine would happen in a twin flame connection, because you are a twin flame, because you are incarnating with a frequency and energy that is identical to another soul's energy or frequency that is either also currently incarnated or possibly in some cases is still in the spirit realm, but you have this conscious awareness of your connection to them. And yet, at the same time, if you're being completely honest with yourself, as you've become more whole within, as you've balanced your internal divine masculine and divine feminine energies and come into this inner union state, you've realized that if you're being completely honest with yourself, as a monadic twin flame, you don't desire a full-blown, conventional looking, physical union, so to speak, with your twin flame. That doesn't mean that you're not in union. And that is something that I want to clarify as well, because I hear from many, and I actually agree that in a twin flame connection, union is always the goal. However, I think that there is a conversation to be had about the definition of union, because the twin flame journey is mostly a journey of energy. It's a journey happening within our souls. Even the merging, I think that often when people talk about twins merging together, they're thinking physical, but the merging is happening energetically. And yes, that can and often does manifest in different physical ways. But the merging itself is energetic, and it can actually happen in cases where one twin is physically incarnated and the other is not. They are in the spiritual realm and they are supporting from the spiritual realm. This actually is the case for a spiritual teacher that I adore named Cassidy Kane, who speaks on twin flames and shares a lot of twin flame teachings. I believe, if I understand correctly, that she is in a situation where she is physically incarnated, but her twin flame is not physically incarnated, and yet she is still connected to and working with that energy. That doesn't mean that she is not in union. And so union itself is something that happens energetically. It's a state of balance and wholeness within the self. It's you balancing your internal divine masculine and your internal divine feminine and feeling whole and complete within yourself. And from that state of wholeness and completeness and inner union as well with your twin flames energy, because that's what this inner union is. It's this mutual balance between your energies. You then get to decide how you want to define that union in the physical realm, or if you desire it to have a physical component at all. That doesn't mean that if you choose to, let's say, not have a physical component to your twin flame union, it doesn't mean that you're not still working with and being supported by that twin flame energy. It doesn't mean that you're not working with your twin flame in the higher realms. And again, like supporting and reinforcing each other, even if you are choosing to lead separate lives. And if that or hearing that feels very off to you or feels very triggering to you, that is perfectly okay as well. What that most likely means is that's just not your path. And so again, my intention is for this video to find true monadic twin flames who have felt misunderstood or experienced a lot of angst around this. If the idea of leading a separate life from your twin flame while being in inner union feels off to you, then that most likely means that you are a merging twin flame, meaning you are actually meant to come together with that person physically and to share a physical union with them that looks more traditional. And again, no path is superior to the other. I just wanted to give this concept a voice because I feel like it's less talked about. So what I'm getting though is I'm picking up on a group that has had this experience of maybe at times having tried to force themselves. It's almost like trying to make themselves want this union to look traditional, to fit it into this box, because maybe they felt like that is what it had to look like. And what I'm getting is that you've come into this state of wholeness within yourself where you're realizing that the more whole and complete and unified and in union with your twin you are energetically and internally, the more you actually feel this desire to lead a separate physical life from maybe the physical other person of your twin flame. In this instance, again, for those of you who do connect with this particular energy and message. And so what I'm getting is that this journey has been very complicated for you. I'm getting as well that anytime you try to bypass that desire and try to tell yourself, no, I need to make this work as a physical relationship, as a physical, romantic, traditional looking union, I need to make this work. I feel like every time you tried to do that, even when you were coming from a place of wholeness within yourself, it always seemed to backfire, almost like it didn't feel right to you in your soul. But then at the same time, it's been conflicting because you know with absolute certainty in this case that this is your twin flame, that you do have this unbreakable connection, that you are working with each other in the energetic realm. And for some of you, you may have some level of physical contact with your twin flame as well. Maybe you do come together from time to time. Maybe you have some kind of like work partnership or a friendship, or you've created something together, or you communicate from time to time or support each other, or maybe you're even more in each other's lives than that, but it just isn't quite conventional. For others of you, maybe there is no physical contact with that other person and you don't desire that, and that is perfectly okay as well. But the message coming through here is that you are already in union internally, and you know it because you are lit up. You are living in accordance to your highest pathway. I can feel it when I channel into your energy, but I don't even need to tell you that because I know that you are living your highest timeline. And yet that highest timeline in this instance seems to be leading you into this like pathway that is more independent or soulmate supported than it is a physical romantic relationship with your twin flame. And yet you still always feel this connectedness to your energy. And I'm just hearing this message, like, what if you allow that to be okay? What if you surrender into that and trust that if your intuition has been guiding you to this pathway, it's for a reason. Maybe this is the most supportive pathway for you. And not only that, but as a monadic twin flame, another trademark of being a monad twin flame is you are fiercely independent and you enjoy and thrive in your physical independence. So while you've learned to like spiritually and energetically merge and balance with this other soul, you thrive in independence with solitude. You may even require that solitude often to channel into the higher realms, to create, to build your career or your life or your business or whatever the case is. In some cases, you may not even desire a traditional looking romantic pathway with a soulmate. You may just enjoy being independent. You may feel very fulfilled and actually as though you are maximizing your ability to live your spiritual mission when you are physically independent. For others of you, that may not be the case. You may desire a partnership or support, but more so in the form of a high-level soulmate. For some of you, you may already be in that soulmate connection, and it's confusing because you're connecting with this beautiful high-level soulmate partnership that supports you and is very reinforcing physically to your journey. It's almost like your romantic soulmate in these cases may be supporting you in the physical realm, while your twin flame's energy is still supporting you in the higher realms, in the fifth dimensional realm. And this can be very complex, but I'm hearing like, what if you allow that to be okay? What if this is what your intuition has guided you into for a reason? Because I'm sensing that for whoever I'm picking up on here, you may have had a lot of inner angst about this. You may have been internally almost like fighting yourself, like trying to make this path look more like other twin flames, or like you felt that it should be, or like it should look on paper. But the truth is, you are walking a very rare pathway for a reason. And I'm actually picking up on like you and your twin flame are on these parallel pathways in a way. And it's almost like I see it being almost like railroad tracks, where the parallel tracks are supporting the train, like supporting something. But if they were in this instance to cross, they would no longer be this track. They would no longer be this mutually reinforcing pathway. Now, I know that's a little bit of a simplistic metaphor. And again, this isn't the case for all twin flames, but for monadic twin flames, it is the case. You actually, what you will find as a monadic twin flame in your experience is that when you and your twin flame, if they are physically incarnated, are both the most fulfilled and the most thriving and seemingly growing the most, is often those periods of time where you are independently living your lives, living your purposes, wherever you are on the globe. Often you are separated by a physical distance, and often even that in itself is for a reason. You may be planted in different places geographically to reinforce the global grid, the Earth's ley line, in different points, in different places, while supporting each other energetically. But you'll notice as a monadic twin flame that when you are the happiest and the most fulfilled and the most lit up, it's often those times where you are, yes, in this union internally, feeling this wholeness and completeness within yourself and this balance energetically with your twin, but you're leading this separate physical life and focusing on your own individual path and mission and purpose, which is actually connected with theirs energetically, even if that doesn't look as visible physically. So I want to say a little bit more on this topic of romantic soulmates, because often monadic twin flames choose one of two pathways. And we already referenced this, but I just wanted to define it in clearer terms. They often choose either to lead a very independent life while being energetically connected to their twin. And again, maybe having some level of interaction, contact, visiting each other, like whatever the case is, or no contact at all, just depending on your circumstances. And they may choose that more independent pathway and may have no desire to open to other romantic possibilities or situations at all. In other cases, monadic twin flames, and I would say this is more common, that they will choose to allow themselves to explore or to connect with high-level romantic soulmates that carry a very high level of consciousness, that they have a very balanced, harmonious, peaceful connection with, who come into their life to reinforce them in the physical, to support them in the physical through the spiritual work that they are doing. And again, it's like in those instances, what often ends up happening is a romantic soulmate will support you and help you to feel loved and supported along your path, and you will feel the same for them. There will be a very mutually beneficial, harmonious connection with a high-level romantic soulmate that supports you in your mission in the physical, whereas your twin flames energy will continue to work with you and support you energetically and in the spiritual realm and in the fifth dimension, the higher dimensions. So often monadic twin flames will choose this pathway so that they are feeling like grounded and stabilized and supported in the physical realm by this romantic soulmate, while at the same time being able to deeply explore and connect with and channel from the spiritual realm at the same time, being supported by their twin flames energy through that process as well. So I don't know who needed to hear this message. Again, like I said through this video, I know that this is not everyone's path as a twin flame. In fact, I would say it's a very small group that experiences this monadic twin flame pathway. But if you do have any experience with this, I really have been enjoying opening up a dialogue about monadic twin flames. So if you'd like to share your experience, I would love to hear from you in the comments section. Now, I know that in my last video, I just said I was creating a new subliminal that is related to your past, present, and future versions of self, kind of like merging together with a common thread. And if that is kind of resonating, the reading that I just did 8 hours ago may connect with you. But I don't think I've ever created, or at least not in a while, 2 subliminals in a day. But I am really feeling inspired to create one specifically for monadic twin flames. And so this subliminal that I'm going to be creating, that will be available as of when this video comes out, but I'm going to be making it after I'm done recording. This is essentially going to help and to support you if you are on a monadic twin flame pathway. I feel the most difficult part about this path for so many is simply surrendering into it, finding peace within it, because you are literally going against the grain in every sense, not just with societal relationship standards, but also even within many twin flame communities. Your path just looks so different that you can find yourself feeling this like inner turmoil around it, or wanting it to look a different way, even though your intuition is leading you down this like more independent pathway. So this subliminal is going to be created to help you to find deeper inner peace within yourself, to really surrender onto this path. And what that's going to do for you is going to be so powerful, because once you surrender fully into this path, and I actually feel like there's a message in this, once you surrender onto this pathway fully, the inner peace that you experience from that is actually going to catapult you up into even higher levels of alignment and connectedness to your true purpose, because essentially you're no longer resisting the uniqueness of your path as a monadic twin flame. And built into this subliminal, I also am going to include rebalancing forms of affirmations to help you to feel balanced and whole and complete within yourself while being connected to your twin flame. And I'm also going to create affirmations for this to call in love, support, adoration, amazing experiences romantically, whether that is through a high-level soulmate, or even non-romantically, I really want to create this so that even if you aren't currently pursuing a strictly romantic pathway, that you are attracting in the highest forms of love and happiness and connection and adoration. But yes, I also am going to be including affirmations that are meant to connect you with very high-level romantic soulmate opportunities, as well as platonic soulmates and forms of support to help you call in that physical support that you so not only deserve, but it's truly essential for you as well to have that support to ground you and to stabilize you in the physical realm, especially if you're connecting with this reading, because I feel that those of you connecting with this reading are truly experiencing very high level soul missions as well. And I got a wave of chills there because I feel like I keep channeling more, but very high level soul missions. And that may be part of why you as a soul chose a more monadic twin flame pathway, because you may actually be feeling resistant to having this physical union with your twin, because so much of your focus and your time and your energy is actually being poured into some kind of highly independent mission, purpose, or path in this world. And what a beautiful thing, and what an honor to be able to connect with you here, even virtually, and to have you here as part of this community. Again, if you are a monadic twin flame and you're here and you're part of the Magnetize Yourself channel, let me know in the comments. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope this video helped you to feel more validated and supported. And like I was sharing earlier, so this monadic twin flame supporting subliminal, I don't know exactly what I'm naming it yet, but I will be uploading this to the app later today after recording, but by the time you are watching this, it should be uploaded fully into the app. Of course, I'll let you know under this video. I'll give you an update. And so all of the subliminals I create are in my app, and the name of the app is Sound and Soulful. You can just search for it in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store, but I will also leave a direct download link to the app under this video, as well as, again, the update to let you know when this new subliminal for you is available. So I'm going to go ahead and close out this video here. I wasn't expecting to speak so long on this subject, but oh, wow, there's been so much information coming through on this. I feel like lately, I've been really strongly connecting with this specific group of twin flames that are part of this collective. And I feel like you have such a huge mission here on earth. And I hope that I can play some small role in helping to support you in that. So have a beautiful day, and I'll connect with you here again in the next video.